Morning, everyone. I'm back out here on the trail again. I am just trying to be consistent with this. For the last few months, I've been going into the gym and working out like as part of like the 4 a.m. crew and stuff. But sometimes when things get repetitive or, not boring, just kind of like you feel like you're doing the same thing, I like to just switch it up just to know that I have other options, other things that I can do. And really what I would like to do is find a some type of like kickboxing class or boxing or Muay Thai or something like that, so that I have something that's like a little more of a challenge, but it's something different than what I've been doing because I don't want to fall off. I realize that that is a reason why I tend to fall off when it comes to my fitness journey is because it starts to get boring. I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system when it comes to my fitness journey. People just, I have people in my life that say, "Oh, good job, congratulations," but I don't have anybody that is willing to like work out with me or that is I don't know, just really encouraging or anything like that. I have to do that for myself, which I get that. Like that's with everybody. Usually on a fitness journey, you're going to be by yourself. You're going to be alone. It's just going to be you pushing you to keep going, but there are people I see it all the time, people that they work out, they have a workout buddy or they have a group of people that they walk with or people that they lift with, and I just feel like, man, I don't have not one person that wants to work out with me. And I have asked, I have tried to see if anybody wanted to walk with me, anybody want to go to the gym with me. And like the people that I know absolutely do not. But you know what is crazy? I'm just going to say this as a side note. People in my past, like old friends that claim to be friends and stuff, they would say no. They would say, no, no, I'm not gonna do that. But then the moment that we are no longer friends, like if something happened or whatever, or like they moved away and we just kind of lost touch, and I later find out that they have been going to the gym, they have been working out, and they try to act like it's something they've been doing. No, no, but whatever. I think that's that silent secret competition type thing, that people be having within them. But either way, I've asked people that I know, see it's a couple right now, like two women that are walking together, and, but support shows up in different ways. People, will say good job, but I don't want to say that I don't want people to just be there to say good job, congratulations. Like I wish that there was somebody that would be on the journey along with me, that we did it together, that we encouraged each other, that we called each other and said, "Hey, get up, let's go," because there's going to be days where I'm going to feel low and I'm going to want somebody to be like, "Hey, no, let's get up, let's go," And so, and I know somebody would probably say just hire, y'all, I don't know what kind of money y'all think I got. I'm finna sit up there and hire somebody to call me and say, "Let's get up and go." No, like I just wish that I had people, but I think that that plays a part for me. Like I think that is on my part. I have to go put myself in situations or circles that's like that with people who are health conscious. I don't want them to be too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want people to be too crazy of a health nut. I'm just wanting to meet people or at least know somebody who is on the same kind of journey that I'm on and coming from maybe the same weight class. I don't know, y'all. I'm just blabbing right now. Let me get on this trail so I can get this over with. So I'm doing an order right now. Well, I just finished doing an order. I just dropped off an order. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, my license for my degree and CEUs and all of that is up for renewal this year. I've got to make sure I get all of that in before April. So I'm going to be working on that this month. And I also want to update my CPR. So I'm going to have to redo a CPR class. But I was thinking to myself, like, should I go back to work? Because I have found so much freedom. And it's not because of like financial issues or struggle, although I do live way like below my means now, and my lifestyle is different. It's different than what most people would, think is normal and stuff. It's simply because I'm actually trying to get myself used to like living in another country. And a lot of other countries, the way that they live is they do without a lot of amenities. So anyway, that's just a whole nother separate thing. However, I was thinking to myself, do I want to go back to work? And I don't mean like go back to work like full time, because I know how stressful that was for me, y'all. Like for a while, for the longest. I remember when I was working a 9 to 5, the last job that I had, when I would go to work, there was this overpass that I had to drive over every day. And, you know, it was the highway was running underneath and everything. And it got to a point, it was so stressful, y'all. It got to a point that I would envision myself just driving over that bridge. Like, just what would happen? You know what I mean? Every day that I was going to work, that's how stressful I was. That's how stressed I was. That's how much I lacked peace and everything. And I got so tired of it. And doing part-time wasn't an option. Going PRN wasn't an option. And it wasn't because of, you know, anything that I had to do with it. It was because at the time, you know, it's a whole thing anyway, a whole different story. But at the time, going part-time and PRN wasn't an option for me, and I wish that it was. And so going, you know, full-time 9 to 5, I don't want to do right now. And I'm thinking to myself, I was thinking, you know, I could always do part-time. And I don't necessarily have to go back to working in a skilled nursing facility like my last job. Prior to that, I was doing home health. So I was going from house to house. I don't have to necessarily do full-time home health. You know, I could do PRN. I could get back in the door, you know, because it's been about, I don't know how long, I think it's been 2 years maybe since I've worked an actual 9 to 5. And so now that I'm an empty nester, I don't have anything else to do other than like trying to, you know, solo travel, right? But there's nothing wrong with adding more income. There's nothing wrong with adding, you know, keeping multiple streams of income. So that's kind of what I was just thinking to myself, like, should I go back to work? I could always do PRN, you know, which is kind of like on call, or I can do part-time, which would be like 20 to 25 hours a week, I think. I absolutely loved working with the patients. I loved it. But what was stressing me out was the productivity, the workload that they were putting on us. I couldn't stand it. And then it was on top of that, the toxic work environment. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of it. I could do without that for the rest of my life. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here, but have y'all ever tried this yogurt, 25 grams of protein? And then I found a granola, Premier Protein granola for added protein. The vanilla is so good. I'm not a vanilla person, but Ratio's vanilla is so good. And then when you add the honey, Premier Proteins honey granola, oh my God, so delicious, so delicious. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.